One. Hopefully this doesn't cut out this time. And welcome along to round 6 of the Inside Line Racing League season. And it's still not cut out. It still hasn't cut out. Thankfully, I think we have it working. So hello everyone and welcome along to round 6 of the Inside Line Racing League season. I'm Ginger Andy and alongside me I've got Graham Chappell. Graham, it's right at the end of the session. It's Francis who's quickest of all at the moment, but the times are about to come flying in, aren't they, at the end of this session. It promises to be a thrilling finale.
Certainly does. Just under a minute left. A lot of people choosing the hypersofts. It's so tight. A second covering the top 10, and everyone on track out for a lap, with the exception of Novak there in 7th. So I think we'll have a flying finish with just over 30 seconds remaining.
Yep, Zoom, Matt, Tibos and Novak with no time on the... Well, Novak does have a time on the board. Matt with not one that's really representative at all. Zoom out very early doors, and that's not good for him either. But riding on board with KV Killerzone, who's 1/10 away from that pole position at the moment, and he's coming round Raskas and towards Anthony Nose. We've missed the entire 18 minutes until the very end, which is probably the most important part, thankfully, as Killerzone comes across the line. It's not a really quick lap at all from him, but he will go again. So Killerzone into Sandabot, onto another quick lap. Who else we got out there on a quick one? Francis, 18-1 through the first sector. Is he on a quick one? Lizard is currently third and going straight on at Sandabot. So Goran ends out there. Leon near the end of a lap at the moment. Is he going quickly though? Don't think so. Looks as if he's backed out of it. So Calic rest out there as well. VSR Josh trying to find someone that's near the end of a lap. Let's have a look at Josh then as he comes round the final corner. Currently P8. Where can he put the force in there? He stays in P8 at the moment. Lickleblocks is coming into the pits. It's P9 for him. TTG Lambo, one of the men near the top of the standings. Oh, running really wide there, through to back, brushing the wall as he now goes through the swimming pool chicane and bounces off the wall and smashes into the barriers as Blizzard has now gone to the top of the timesheets. He was third a minute ago and he was straight on at Sandavot, but now VSR Francis goes quicker still, a 1:7.6. The times are tumbling. Goran in the final sector, Killerzone in the final corner. What about Killerzone? We'll go to Goran in a minute. Can he put the McLaren on pole? No, he can't. He stays P3. What about Goran? He can go a little quicker and takes P3 from Killerzone. So we've still got Leon out there, and in fact, no, he's backed out, and that is the end of the session. We must apologise for that frantic finale. We really had a nightmare there trying to get the stream working. PSN and YouTube totally playing up for us. Both myself and Graham gave it a go, but finally through Twitch we have got the action. So I must apologise for that. Hopefully we'll have a trouble-free race, but there is your grid. It's VSR Francis on pole for Williams. He's around a 10th quicker than VSR Blizzard second. Goran in third, Killerzone in fourth. Calic Rest, the man that did the hot lap this week with a solid P5. CSR Leon P6, Nowak P7th, Josh P8, the Brain in P9 and Lickleblocks in P10. But Graham, really close up at the top of the timesheets, and it could be an interesting race, couldn't it?
Yeah, it should be indeed. Blizzard, on your screen, said it was third, but he was first for me for right until the end where Francis pipped him. Well, interesting. I think we need to keep on Littleblocks in 10th there. He's the only runner in the top 10 on the Ultra Softs, and I think we know with most tracks the undercut is the way, but Monaco it's the overcut, and with Littleblocks on those Ultras, possibly looking at him to stay out further on those and looking to overcut those in front of him. So I'm watching his progress with keen interest. I think he's going to be a good shout for launching himself up that top 10.
Hold on a minute, we've got another issue here. I don't think I'm on the ILR channel because I've rushed that. I was just asking what channel it's on. I hope it's not on another Racing League's channel, or that is an absolute disaster. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what channel this is on. I pray to God I'm not signed into another League's channel here. I'll be a disaster if it is. It's hard not to contain it. What channel is it on? Can someone tell me what channel it's on? Because I am worried it's not on anything remotely. I hope it's not on SRL or something like that, because I think... Oh, it's on Veloci. It's on my account, right, okay. Well, I'm going to ask Jack if he wants me to change, but I don't think with a moment before the start of the race he might want that.
He's set off on the formation lap. Should I go through? I'll go through some of the tyre
Yeah, on you go.
bits and
Feel
bobs
free.
outside the top 10. So obviously we know Little Blocks, 10th place, the only runner. Of course, you have to start on the tyre. Just set your fastest lap on if you're inside the top 10. Little Blocks starting on ultras. TTG Lambo and TTG Pro, the only runners on the field starting on supers, so they'll be going long into this race. And then everyone else, Bugatti, Frisky, it's me, Cliffy, Matt, Joom, all starting on ultras. So taking a bit of inspiration. Overtake, you have to be carrying a really excessive amount of pace difference over the driver in front if you want to get by. Not impossible, but it is very difficult. These are very skilled drivers, so anything is possible today.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep it on this channel. I don't want you guys to miss the start. Jack may not be happy, but sorry, Jack. There's nothing I could have. Well, I could have done it, but obviously we would have missed the end of qualifying. It was my mistake in a rush there, but I don't want to miss the start. I don't think anyone wants to miss the start, so we'll keep it on here unless I get told otherwise. So we'll keep it here right now. But yeah, thanks for running us through that, Graham. It has been a catalogue of disasters, errors, just a mess, really. We've had a few issues and other things that have gone wrong for us, but we are finally on the grid and ready to get starting. And as you mentioned, Blizzard totally out position on my screen from what you had, so he is P2 on the grid. That's how it shows. So there's Francis on the front row, Blizzard is alongside him. Let's see who can get the jump and the run down towards turn 1. On Friday night in ILR Xbox, the man in second got down to turn 1 first. Will that be the case here again today? We'll find out as the 5 red lights come on, and the Monaco Grand Prix round 6 of the championship is about to be underway. And we are racing in Monte Carlo. It's VSR Francis leading from pole, but look at Blizzard pulling alongside into turn 1. He can't get through it now. He's under threat from the Ferrari. Have gone in, climbing up the hill. It's Francis, then Blizzard, then gone in with Killazone in P4 as they run up through Bordovage and into the left of Masseny and down into Casino Square. Francis, Blizzard, gone in third, Kiwi Killazone fourth, and Carrick Rest holds on to his P5. Let's have a look further down the field. What kind of action have we got? We've got Nowek side by side with VSR Josh in a battle for P7 and P8. And Josh clips the back of Nowek there and takes a bit of front wing damage. Further down the field, one of the Williams cars up the inside of a Mercedes. And I'm not sure who that was, but plenty of action. But for the most part, Graham, it's been a clean start by all.
Pretty clean, but not without incidents. Novak has got wing damage on that front leg contact heading into turn 1. He's missing part of that right front wing. So he's going to be, he's got a little bit to navigate before he can hopefully make that change.
Yep, not looking good for Nowek. So not a track where you want to have front wing damage at all, is it, Graham? It's probably the worst on the entire calendar because the barriers are so close. And what would you do in this situation? Would you try and stay out? Because at the end of the day, it's difficult to overtake, but again, you've got the risk of the barrier. What would you do in this situation?
It's all about tyres, and given that he's on the hypers, I would just ride it out, just drive so carefully, obviously to avoid understeering into another barrier, creating further damage. But just ride it out with the hypers. You're going to be pitching soon anyways, and just ride it out and then think about changing it then. But keep going for the time being, as it looks like he is doing on lap 2.
Yep, absolutely. That's me's name just popping up to the top of the timesheets there for some reason. He's actually P15. Ignore that, folks. Let's ride on board with VSR Blizzard as he attacks the back of VSR Francis. And Blizzard, he's been driving beautifully of late, really starting to stake his claim in the World Championship. But he's showing Francis that he has got the pace to challenge him here this afternoon around this famous Monaco circuit. Blizzard winning the last 3, one in China, one in Baku, one in Spain. And his championship rival, Joom, started down at the back. So a real chance for Blizzard to extend his championship advantage further. It's currently 13 points, his lead over Joom, and for someone that's won the last 3 races, it's quite surprising it's not a little bit bigger, but that 17th place in Bahrain has came to haunt him as Joom has been consistent. He's been in the points in every race so far this season. Only once has he been off the podium when he finished 10th back in Melbourne. But at the moment, no way through for Blizzard as Francis continues to lead the way. And Francis himself, 9th in the standings. It's been an up and down season. I mean, this is a bit of a flash in the pan, Graham. I mean, he's really showing some good pace early doors, and he'll be hoping to try and cling on for a famous Monaco win.
He's in the best seat in the house, of course. Pole position in Monaco is basically half the race in many ways. Overtaking obviously so difficult, but Blizzard's definitely hanging on to him It's not going to make life easy for the Williams, so I'd imagine a very nervous Francis in front. There are certainly a lot of drivers you wouldn't want to have behind you. Blizzard's probably one of those hustling and harrying. Just even behind that battle, Golan already picked up a 3-second penalty very early on, so I think his podium could be in threat early here, and that's the thing we have to keep an eye on, is penalties, because I think they will be obviously overtaken at such a difficult thing to come by at Monaco. That could make the difference between someone finishing the points and the podium. It's going to make a big difference today, penalties are in Monaco.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Graham. I would totally agree with that. What I've seen on Friday night was the same thing happening with some of the drivers. Thankfully, they got away with those penalties. They sort of had the gap to hold on, but penalties...
Sorry, Andy, little blocks going through on Novak, squeezing his way past through Raskas. Of course, Novak, we know, has got damage, and little block squeezed himself up into P7. Not the cleanest move, but he got himself through. Yeah, lovely stuff there. Just caught the tail end of that. Well done cutting across, and nothing wrong with that. The viewers want to see the action, so good shout there, Graham. And meanwhile, up at the front, the gap's still around half a second. So we've seen that move there from Lickle into, was it Raskas, I presume? He started the move and then completed it into Anthony Nose. So can Blizzard make a move? But where would you say that the best opportunity is when you've both got the full use of your front wing? It's got to be down into that Nouvelle chicane or turn one, isn't it? Yeah, it's only real. If you're running without damage, really two spots are, I could say, braking as Blizzard is here into the Nouvelle chicane. And if you get a great run out of Anthony Noakes, set yourself up with such a short straight. I've seen the penalties fly in. Ooh, a bit of a brush of the wall for Blizzard. Looking not to be nursing wing damage on that McLaren. Again, making contact. I think these hypers, Andy, are beginning to just fade a little bit, not providing the drivers the grip that obviously they were in qualifying, as is the case with the Hypersoft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Killer's own pits.
Killer's one's in the pits, and meanwhile Josh has come into the pits from P9 as well. Several others doing that. Obviously, I think a lot of people were moaning about the carcass temperatures as well. If you don't keep them below 100 degrees, you start encountering real problems. The back end wants to slide, a lot of oversteer, and Lambo a little bit of oversteer through turn one. Cliffy right behind him picks up a 3-second time penalty, but Cliffy looking really close to the back of Lambo as well. So a couple of little battles shaping up on track, and Lambo out of shape as he runs down the hill, and Cliffy could have a chance at diving up the inside here into Mirabel, and indeed he is. Cliffy down the inside of TDG Lambo. Can he do it? They're side by side now, running down into the hairpin. Can Cliffy sweep round the outside? Look how tight that is as we lose Nowek from the Grand Prix. Josh is out as well. Not sure what's happened there. Let's try and pick it up. Bugatti, well, I can't pick it up. I think they must be right down at Sandivot or something. They've either come to blows or something else has happened, but I'm going to try and pick it up in a few moments. But did you see it, Graham?
I didn't see the incident, but I did see Josh's Force India facing the wrong way just out of Sandivot. Novak didn't look like he was immediately beside him, but that's not to say, of course, that he couldn't have been involved as Francis and Golan pitch.
Yeah, Francis in, Gonan in as well. Blizzard carries on, so onto a set of the Ultra Soft, or sorry, the Super Soft for Francis there. Gonan in does the same thing. Now, Blizzard used the undercut last week to win the Grand Prix, given he wasn't actually near the front in that race. So he's now going to have to try and overcut, go a little bit longer. What can Blizzard do? So Gonan and Francis rejoin the racetrack. Let's see how that goes for them. Meanwhile, Cliffy is pretty close to the back of Lambo still. I mean, he was so close to getting that move done, wasn't he, Cliffy? But he just couldn't find the space right round the outside, round that hairpin. So he's tucked up behind Lambo and beginning to get a little bit frustrated, you would think, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, as is the case with Monaco. Just saw an incident there with CC Brain, how he clipped the barrier out of coming out of the Nouvelle chicane and lost all his footing, and then subsequently retired in the pit, so he won't be playing any further part in this Monaco Grand Prix.
So that's the third retirement already. 6 laps gone. CC Brain, VSR Josh and Nowak. We think there were perhaps a collision between Josh and Nowak. We don't know. So they're out. CC Brain now joins the group of cars. Gonanen, he's off too, is he? Gonanen's gone. Yeah, he is. Whoa, that's a big off. Down at the Nouvelle chicane on the exit before you run down to the back. Now, has he outbroke himself there and gone straight on into that wall, or has he lost it on the exit? It seems as if he'd be going a little bit too slow to lose that on the exit, so you'd have to think he's done it on the way in, wouldn't you?
Possibly. Blizzard's come into the pits. Where will he come out now?
Oh, he's way down.
Behind his teammate.
He's way down. He's behind Calic as well, so I presume Blizzard needed to change some front wing there because he's lost a hatful of places. Look at that. Francis is ahead of him. Calic's ahead of him. Leon's ahead of him. And Kellerzone's ahead of him.
Mash and Poe side by side. Andy started to go across Matt and Andy on the charge down to Mirabeau. Very, very close.
Yeah, look at that. They're
side by side. Didn't end well. Oh, clip in the front. Or at the back of that Haas, I should say, is Poe, and he's missing part of that left front wing, so that is Matt up into P5.
Oh, behind that, the Sauber there of Zoom losing 2 places to Blizzard and Kellerzone. I think he was nearly spun round at the hairpin, and he then dropped back. It's all concertinaing up, and our Poe and Calic still battling. They are, and Calic's now up to P6. Next up on the radar is Matt Tibos, but some of the guys here haven't pitted, some of them have, and it's causing a huge strain, and it's allowing Francis to do a runner, isn't it? Getting away from this group. That pit stop from him has worked out perfectly. He's well ahead of them, and Calic's his nearest rival, and there's some distance between Francis and Calic already as Matt Tibos continues on still. And on those ultra-softs, you'd expect that. So he's going to go a long way into this race. But look at them all queuing up to have a look. And is this the move now from Calic down the inside of Matt Tibos? Yes, it is. Matt not interested in fighting it. Oh, Calic's off. He's gone straight on into turn 1, and Calic wrist. Oh, dearie me. He's lost several places and a lot of his front wing. Tried to make the move on Tibos, and now he's just slid off.
Car round, Andy. Sorry to interrupt. Poe has gone spinning round just at the exit of Nias Massenet.
Yep.
And he's now lost a ton of positions, and the rest of that front wing as Blizzard, Leon, Killer Zone all moved by him, and they are now queued behind that Haas of Matt, who is nursing some wing damage on that right front.
Yeah, nursing tyres, nursing wing damage, and they're pushing him through their Killer Zone. Look at that. Killer Zone surely is going to make a move here into the Nouvelle Chicane. What can Matt and Tibos do to cover it? Francis has disappeared off into the distance. Killer Zone down the inside into the Nouvelle Chicane. Makes it stick. Now Leon will have a look. Can he do anything about Matt? Don't think so on this occasion. Blizzard tucked up behind that, but Calic will be kicking himself. A real chance of a strong podium finish going up in flames as he breaks too late into Sandevot and bounces off the barrier. Then Polgar involved in an incident, and he is yet to stop, so not good for Poe. Is Matt coming in this time? No, he's going to go really long on those ultra soft tyres. So Leon against Matt as they run down towards turn 1. Matt eases aside, not interested in fighting it. Through goes Leon, through goes Blizzard. Matt down to P8, and wow, really crazy race over the last couple of laps. And I'm interested to see where the likes of Lecco and Cliffy and TTG Lee Lambo all come out after all this, because if you look at the gap between Francis and Killerzone, it's about 13 seconds, and there's a further gap up the road from Francis to the other guys. So could the likes of Lecco and Cliffy bring themselves right into play? It's going to be really interesting to see if they can, Graham, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that last lap absolutely killed the likes of Killerzone and Blizzard, because that gap, you mentioned 30 seconds, it was 9 seconds the lap before between Francis and Matt, so you can see how much time they've lost. And Blizzard still the dirtier of Leon, so there's definitely an opportunity for the likes of Little Blocks and Cliffy, if Blizzard is losing time here, that they could find a gap to come out, because they're on the Ultrasoft. They can obviously stay a bit longer than obviously the Hypersoft will allow you to do so. But interesting to see if they can continue to increase the gap, because there's just a possibility, because it's not the longest pit lane in the world, is it? It does not take a ton of time. Could easily sneak themselves ahead if things continue as they are.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out here. What we've got Killerzone's about 19.5 seconds off the leader Lickle Blocks. I mean, surely that won't be far away, because you cut the final corner and you cut turn 1. So a possibility maybe to come in early on the Ultra Softs and stick a set of Super Softs on it for track position, like very early, and undercut them all. So I don't know if it's possible at 19.5 seconds, but that's certainly going to be a gap worth watching, isn't it? So can the likes of Lickle and Cliffy get the result they want here and bring themselves right into contention for a podium here and get themselves ahead of Killerzone and Leon? But Killerzone now starting to cut that gap down, only 18.5 seconds off the lead, and that will continue to drop because he's now in the clean air. But Lambo further up the road, meanwhile, in P4 is going a lot longer, so I don't think Killerzone's going to get near those guys quickly enough. So I think Lickle and Cliffy, if they fancy a pit stop, it would be about now. But Cliffy's right on the back of Lickle Blocks, and these two could lose time. And look, he's coming alongside. Lickle's yet letting him go, and Lickle lets Cliffy ahead, and Cliffy now takes the lead. So is there damage on that Ferrari? Why would you let the Mercedes driver go? It doesn't seem to be a clever move at all. I don't know why you do that. What do you think, Graham?
It's a strange one. It's a strange one. He lost a lot because he was over. He's an easy, comfortable second and a half ahead, right until basically that last sector. So he's harvesting some ERS, but a very strange one to let track position go like that against a driver who's on an identical strategy to you. His wing, from what I could see, looks intact.
Yeah, it does.
So, very strange one from Nickel, and he's fallen back quite quickly from quickly. So, possibly just the difference of tyre wear between the two. It's hard to say, but definitely a strange one, to say the least. The other thing we should consider with these guys is when they pitch, they'll be on much fresher super sauce than the likes of Blizzard and Killer Zone and Leon, who were pitching 4, 5, 6 laps ago. So that could be an interesting factor, maybe possibly towards the end of this race, more so than when they pitch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. It's a really strange dynamic to the race, how Cliffy and Leckel have brought themselves into play, really by those guys that hadn't pitted, just getting in the way. Matt Tibos, Paul Calic, well, Calic was actually in the battle, and Blizzard's up the inside into Raskas. Oh, that's a stunning move. What a move that is from Blizzard. Opportunistic as you like. He barges past Leon with the most opportunistic move you'll ever see. And if you want to get past it, Monaco, that's how you do it. What a move into Raskas from the championship leader, and he's left Leon shell-shocked, and the Toro Rosso drops back to P7, Blizzard up to P6. What a move. What a move. As I think that's the lagging, it's me getting in the way. I don't know what's up with his car, he's totally out of sync with everyone else, but did you see that one, Graham? What a move.
Beautiful move, helicopter shot and all on my end, absolutely beautiful move, and a very important move as well. It's just he was obviously stuck behind for a few laps now, and critical to get by, as of course the gap was kind of hovering around 19 seconds or so as Calic is facing the wrong way coming out of Anthony Noakes. Yeah,
so he's had a problem. Meanwhile, I did see a penalty being picked up there by the leader, or the net leader, VSR Francis, so not good for him, as Calic has, wow, he's quite a hit against the wall there. He's right in the way. Calic's messy afternoon continuing. A real chance at a strong result has gone up in smoke for both Sauber drivers, for 13th and 14th, not having an enjoyable afternoon at all. Meanwhile, Matt Tibos, after his pit stop, has rejoined out behind Poe. Those two guys were doing all the holding up earlier on. So let's see how that goes for them. Francis and Lickel in quite close proximity as well. Got a yellow in sector 1 and catch Calic going into the wall at turn 1. So Calic out of the race as Lickel now starts to hold up Francis. And will Francis be patient with this? I think he can afford to be patient. He can afford to wait until Lickel pits, because he's got a 13.2 second lead over Killer Zone. But he won't want it to come down too much, because he's of course got a 3-second time penalty game.
He's looking good. You just have to play the long game with this one. You know, of course, you know who you're racing, you know who you're not racing. And Francis knows, as we've got, Francis and Nickel almost come together there. Nickel had to take a trip across the Nouvelle chicane there, didn't get a penalty, thankfully. But so much for being patient. Francis wants to get on with this and get by as soon as possible by the looks of it. So that answers that question. Yeah, great move from Francis down the inside. Lickel is one of those corners where you can't really get 2x2 through there, so Lickel's got to concede, go across the runoff. And yeah, great opportunistic driving from Francis. And as we mentioned, look how far off the back of Cliffy Lickel has fell. And I think it just shows you, as we kind of alluded to, we kind of thought that might be the reason for it. He just simply doesn't have the grip on those ultra softs, and it might be a case that he's overrun tyres. The two McLarens get really close into turn 1, and Blizzard being allowed through there by Killer Zone. So that maybe explains why Blizzard was in such a rush, a desperate Dan attempt to get past Leon, because it meant his teammate could let him through. And I'm not sure why that is. And now Leon fancies a chance on Killer Zone. They go side by side through Casino Square. Take a flutter, take a gamble, says Leon. He's going to triangle round the outside of Killer Zone. He can't do that into Mirabel. And they run down now into the hairpin. And we know it's single file through there. And Leon misses his chance to make a move on the Irishman, KB Killer Zone. So Leon nearly able to pounce as Lickel and Lambo now getting ahead of Lickel as that as well. Wow, Lickel's really struggling. Stay spot, Nouvelle chicane, Lambo on these super softs. Of course, they can longer, better life than these ultras. I think it's fairly clear from Nickel that they are just absolutely cooked.
Yeah, cooked for him. Cliffy's keeping them in the zone, so not working at all well for Lickel. His hopes have faded, and he's now come into the pits. Where will he rejoin in relation to these guys? It will be behind them, probably into P7, as Leon is still hassling KB Killer Zone, and he's having a look up the inside into Anthony knows he'll have to back out of that one and think twice. And now he can open up the DRS and have a run down this straight towards turn 1. They will jump ahead of Lickel blocks. Where is Lickel? He's on pit exit. If he'd made that stop early and went on to super softs, he'd probably have been ahead of these guys perhaps, but he didn't choose to do it. So going up the hill now, Leon versus Killerzone. Leon on the inside of Killerzone. They touch, they touch, they touch, they still touch, and there's going to be contact there. Oh, front wing damage there for both cars, I'm sure. Well, certainly for the McLaren. There's nothing left on that wing, I don't think. Bash from pillar to post. KB Killerzone, and both sides damaged. The left side of his end plate severely, the right side with just a little bit of end plate damage, but Killerzone, that is going to be like driving a London bus through the streets of Monaco, isn't it?
The rough one, and the tough thing for him is that he's on the supers, so a set of ultras will be very difficult to nurse to the end from here if he, well, he surely has to, but there's no way you can continue on with that level of wing damage on Monaco, so that's a tough one for Killerzone to let, to have that instantly see how much he's struggling. He needs to be very careful not to smack a barrier on his way to the pits and end his race, because there's still some points on offer here. There's a nice big gap between Nickel and It's Me just coming out of the tunnel now, so if he pits, and he does, should still emerge in a points position. That's disappointing for him for sure. Yeah, very disappointing. Killerzone makes his way down the pit lane. The man who's third in the championship did not start last week. It's going to be a very low points tally from this Grand Prix as well, and Blizzard now moving himself into a position here where he's going to take even more points out of his rivals. Both Hume and Killerzone on for low finishes here, and look how long this has taken in the box. Where will he go? Will he be ahead of behind of Bugatti? I think he should emerge ahead of Bugatti and emerge in P7, and round and out of the pits comes Killerzone, and he is comfortably ahead of the Red Bull of Bugatti. 030.629. I've never said that mouthful. I felt like it was time to do it. So let's have a look at Cliffy then. How far away from a stop are we with him? He can't be far away. And if he pits now, he is coming in now. Can he get himself ahead of Leon? I think there's a real possibility that the Mercedes driver could do that. So let's keep an eye out into the pits. On go a set of the super soft tyres, as we'd expect from Cliffy. He's being held, and away he goes. Well, no, he wasn't being held. It was just the game showing him being held. And where is Blizzard? He might even be ahead of Blizzard here. Blizzard coming across the line now. Cliffy's on pit exit. This could be close. It's going to be Blizzard just about because of the momentum. And you have to feel if Cliffy had made the decision to come in a few laps earlier and go into those super softs, he would have been ahead of Blizzard. And that's an opportunity missed without doubt there, Graham, isn't it? In terms of track position, immediately for sure. But of course, it's a 39-lap race, and the upshot of it is his tyres are 10 laps fresher than Blizzard's, and that's even around Monaco, that's a significant amount of time. So, and he's right behind him even as is. So, I think immediately he's missed a chance, but possibly later on, because Blizzard's going to try and get these to the end. Of course, we know we started on hypers and pitted obviously lap 4 or 5. So I think Cliffy has a chance later on in the race to get back at Blizzard, but for now, we just have to sit tight behind that McLaren.
Yeah, absolutely, but I still feel it's an error on Mercedes' part. I mean, surely 7 or 8 laps younger tyres than Blizzard would have been enough to get ahead of him. Pit a couple of laps earlier, and he would have pulled away. So, track position so important at Monaco. I mean, he's still got a good chance of getting Blizzard, but and he now clips the wall there on the way through. Raskas does Cliffy, but he's just going to play the long game now. But it's not going to be easy. We've seen how difficult it is. We've seen a few cracking moves, but I mean, Cliffy's got his work cut out. I mean, he is going to get a podium as it stands, but the problem is, he could get second. That's the thing. But Francis is just driving off into the distance here. Lambo could be on for a good result too here. Maybe even P5 or P6. We'll see how it goes for him. But Cliffy versus Blizzard certainly looks like the best battle on the track at the moment. Leon and Killerzone could be one to watch as well. Leon's been back in the pits again, so I'm not sure what happened to Leon, but Leon's been in and put a fresh set of tyres on, so maybe he's damaged the wing as well out there at some point.
Funny how these two are sharing the same piece of track again after their incident, so nothing really lost here, is there? Sure, I wonder how Leon retrieved the back of that McLaren now after that, because it must have been some sort of damage caught up that forced him to come in again, and they'll be disappointed to find that McLaren back in front of them. So interesting to see how these two battle out, because we're only just crept over halfway distance, lap 19 of 39, so we're still here for a while yet. Yeah, we are, and I've just went on board with Cliffy there, and he was basically trying to find a way around the outside at Raskas on Blizzard, just to show you that advantage in tyre life. So nearly a move there. So 2 cracking battles to watch then. Cliffy versus Blizzard and Leon versus Killerzone as they climb up the hill. Can Blizzard find a way past that lagging It's Me? It's really annoying that. Don't know why his car's lagging like that. But big guys probably aren't seeing that car. That's just me that's seeing it perhaps. So Cliffy
against Blizzard. Is there any way for Cliffy to make a move? Surely on the exit of Portier going down into the tunnel, he would have good traction and a good slingshot to have a run down into the Nouvelle Chicane. So let's see if he can do that. Can Blizzard keep his tyres in the window, the tyre temperature window, to keep them alive and working well? That's another thing that Blizzard has to watch out for as the tyres continue to wear. But on this occasion, Graham, no such threat or worry for VSR Blizzard, was there?
It's a bit too far back. Traction out of Portier is so important to make a move down into the Nouvelle Chicane. I think Cliffy just has to be patient with this one. He'll know, of course, information available to all the drivers. See how much Blizzard is actually struggling.
Yeah,
again, Cliffy's going to try and have a nose around the outside. Let's see if he can get a good run off Anthony Noakes into turn 1.
Yeah, once again, Cliffy trying everything into Raskas. He can't find a way through. So what about down to turn 1? Surely he can't do that there. He'll have to try and get a good exit and run up the hill. Oh, he's a little bit deep into the corner. He stays onto the back of Blizzard, but that was an opportunity with a good run up the hill to maybe try into Massonnet. We know how difficult it is there. It usually ends in contact. We've seen that earlier with Leon and Killerzone. So down the hill now. And Cliffy, he made a move here earlier in the race. Is he going to do it again? He tries it. He breaks a little later than Blizzard. Just about gets himself alongside. And oh, Blizzard just clinging on. And it certainly seems to me if Cliffy's going to make a move, it might be down into Mirabeau after just keeping it tight, keeping it tidy all the way up the hill, carry the momentum and then make a move there, doesn't it, Graham?
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those corners where you can definitely surprise someone into Mirabeau. More so because you expect something in Saint-Devote, you expect something here to the Nouvelle Chicane, but Mirabeau do not as much, so Blizzard have to be aware of, because he won't know that Cliffy is already made a daring overtake through that corner. So Cliffy just has to be really careful in this phase. Tyres, I think, will eventually, it'll be too much for Blizzard to handle, and Cliffy has to be so careful not to pick up damage, because that would truly end any chance of him getting by, surely.
Yep, here we go again then. Cliffy for the third time in a row, trying it round the outside of Raskas. I think he's just doing that to try and put Blizzard off, but he's got a great run here into Saint-Devote, and he's going to dive up the inside. On you go, Cliffy. Side by side, they're banging wheels up the hill, and they're going to go charging up through Beau Rivage. That could end in tears. They're still side by side through Massonnet, touching wheels still. Cliffy round the outside of the Casino Square, and there's contact. There was always going to be contact. There was contact all the way through it, and has Blizzard sustained damage? Has Cliffy sustained damage? I seen front wing go flying, but who got the damage there? It's hard to tell. I think it was Blizzard on the right side of his car.
Yeah, definitely Blizzard. Cliffy's wing looks fairly intact, and of course Cliffy would have been, his car was ahead of Blizzard, where Blizzard's wing would have made contact with his wheel or so Cliffy's wing would have been okay. And you're going to see Blizzard drop back, because Little Blocks is just here now as well, entering the fray on much fresher tyres as well. Yeah,
well, Cliffy will be glad to get that move done. What will the stewards say about it? We don't know. It seemed like a six of one and half a dozen of the other, didn't it? It really seemed like they were both rubbing wheels and barging each other. Did you read it like that yourself, Graham?
It's a tough one. You don't have replays, of course. Held up side by side up the hill. I thought maybe Blizzard, because even Cliffy was on the racing line, I thought Blizzard might have gotten out of it, but look, it's Monaco. We know track position is so important here. He wasn't really one who was going to back out of it, but now he's going to be paying the price for not doing so, as he drops further into the clutches of Little Blocks as Cliffy driving up off the road.
Yep, Cliffy all the way up the road now, and the wounded Blizzard's going to have to defend from Little Blocks. He's having a fine race this afternoon. He's trying to finally get the result he's been wanting. He's not been on the points board at all this season. He's had so many chances. So will Lickle want to take this easy, or will he go for it on Blizzard, the championship leader? It's not often you say your championship's done after 5 races if you're someone like Little Blocks, but you have to say, given he's on 90 points behind going into this race, it's an uphill task. But, well, if he wants to consider himself getting into this championship fight at some point, he'll need to start by outscoring the championship leader VSR Blizzard, and to do that he'll need to find a way through, but you have to feel his championship's pretty much gone already, given he's 90 points down and doesn't actually have a point on the board. But Little Blocks attacking Blizzard, and he's going to try around the outside into Raskas. Can he do a cutback? Maybe he's going to stay on the outside, then he'll try to get onto the tail of Blizzard through Anthony Nose. They go, and now across the line as they go around that curving start finish straight. And Killerzone, who was in the pits there? I don't know who it was, but Killerzone 15 seconds off the back of them and still holding off Leon quite comfortably. Lambo still not been in the pits, a 22 lap stint on those tyres. Quite a stint from Lambo. He always seems to creep up after low-key qualifying and get right into the mix. And now look at Lickle trying on the inside, dives back to the outside. Great decision to dive back to the outside. That could give him the inside for the hairpin. Oh, they're touching. Blizzard out of shape. Lickle on the inside and through he goes. Now, what will McLaren say about that one? Once again, in Monaco, to make the move, it can't always be a clean one, but you try to keep it as clean as possible. Did that tap on the back of Blizzard's car make that move possible, or do you think he was already going to get there, Graham? It's hard to tell, but nonetheless, it might go to the stewards later. Lickle is up to P4 for now.
It's a tough one. Blizzard did well to catch that one when he was going around as Lambo finally ends his first stint and comes into the pits to replace a fairly worn set of Supers. He'll be so relieved to get off of those and sticks on a set of the Ultra Softs and will run to the end.
Yeah, Lambo, where's he going to be here? Is he going to be ahead of Lickle? Let's see. He's coming out of the pits now. I think he's going to be just behind, and he is. And he's going to be behind Blizzard as well, and that could be another case where you have to wonder why he didn't come in a couple of laps earlier. So, again, he is, as you've said, Graham, with Cliffy, he's going to have much fresher tyres, but track position is not easy. Incidents, front wing damage, we've seen it with his teammate, we've seen it with everyone further down the field. And is Lambo going to have a look up the inside of Blizzard immediately? He tries, can't do that. And Lambo, who is one of the men near the front of this championship, with some great performances. He's not won yet. Second, third, fourth, eighth, sixth. Solid points in every race this season. Is he going to get them again? Can he get onto the podium here? It would be a tall order, but he is going to have a huge tyre advantage over Blizzard. So let's see if he can make that move and then make the tyre advantage over Lickle blocks work as well. He's going to try on the inside of Blizzard. He can't do that there, and Blizzard clings on. So Francis still 11.3 ahead of Cliffy in second. Lickle block third and Blizzard fourth, with Lambo fifth and still attacking and still can't find a way up the inside of Blizzard, who is really not having the ideal second phase of the race, is he?
No, it's not gone to plan. Couple things to make note of. Bugatti, there was a yellow flag heading down into the chicane there between Lambo and Blizzard. That was Bugatti retired from the race, making contact with that inside barrier. Now it looks like they've got Lambo shaking up the move. He's going to try and get around the outside, just not doing the case where the traction will come up the hill will be huge.
Yeah, Lambo right on the tail of Blizzard. I've just noted there that Cliffy has gone up 14 positions from his starting position. 14 at Monaco. I mean, just how good is that strategy call he's made, and how clean he's been. It's been magnificent from Cliffy up to this point. He's sixth in the championship and on for a huge boost to his current points tally with that. That's incredible. What a performance from Cliffy. Surely an absolute stick-on for driver of the day in P2. And is Blizzard letting him go here, or has he just ran out of grip? I think he's letting him go. It doesn't want any incident. He's in the lead of the championship anyway, and P5 is not a bad result when Zoom and Killerzone are behind him on the road. So Blizzard, seemed like a sensible decision there from him, didn't it, to just ease Lambo ahead.
Yeah, at this stage I think he realised that given how many laps there were to go, I think it would have been losing more time trying to fight it, and I just saw his fuel light is in the flickering as well, so I think he's on the edge of fuel, so he needs to be saving that now between now and the end of the race. But there's a dilemma for him because his teammate and Leon are both going to be catching him fairly quickly, given their tyres and of course the wing damage we know Blizzard is nursing. So of course the dilemma is that if Blizzard pits, he loses those positions automatically. But if he does pit, can he get them back? That's the problem that Monaco gives you. Track position, of course, is everything. So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, is Blizzard, as he continues to kind of fall down the order.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dilemma, isn't it? Because Leon and Killerzone, they might be battling, but given the tyre life comparison between the two, they should cruise onto the back of Blizzard quite quickly. The gap just continues to come down, 7.8 now, and that's while these guys are battling. So Blizzard could be a sitting duck to these guys as well, and that certainly helps the championship. I'm not going to lie, it does. But unfortunately for Blizzard, Zoom is having a pretty poor afternoon, it has to be said, as is Killerzone as well. A pretty average race for him, and he wants to outscore his teammate, but he let him through his teammate earlier on, so I'm not sure why he would do that. But the McLaren team working in harmony, it would seem, and it looks like Blizzard might have to let his teammate through again and try and back Leon up. How would you see that one working out? Do you think if they got onto the back of Blizzard that Blizzard would maybe let Killerzone through to give him a little bit of protection? What do you think?
I think fair is fair. Killerzone did a good job earlier on in the race when you let Blizzard by, did a nice job holding up Leon. So would at this stage of the race near the end, the back end, would Blizzard do the same? it's a tough situation, and only when you're in it do you really kind of think about it. And it would be a tough one, obviously, given the championship standings. Can't see Blizzard letting this one go in a hurry, even though his teammate did a solid for him earlier. Of course, points aren't given at the beginning of the race, it's at the end. And Blizzard still has a 6.5 second advantage, but that is already closed down by a second. Like you mentioned, these guys are battling. Imagine, is Leon being held up here? Like, how quickly could Leon close in on that second McLaren just up the road there? You can see from the cockpit of that Toro Rosso. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thought, and I don't think it really matters anyway. I think they're both going to get there anyway, aren't they? They're just slicing the gap down like a hot knife through butter. It's crazy how quickly they're coming. Meanwhile, Lambo now, who I don't know how he does it. Every week he seems to qualify in a fairly average position as we lose Poe from the Grand Prix. So Poe's out. Where's that happened? I don't know. Poe's out. So he joins Bugatti, Calic, Gunnan, Brain, Josh and Nowek on the sidelines, and Jim up to 11th now. He's still not going to get a point, Jim, but he's going to continue on anyway for his championship. But Lambo, I don't know how he does this. Week in, week out, qualifies in a fairly average position and then just digs out a result in the race from nowhere. We've seen it in Melbourne where he earned the Driver of the Day award. He then did it again in Bahrain, and a 4th followed that, an 8th and a 6th, back to a sort of average position. And now, here in Monaco, is hassling and harrowing Lickleblocks for the podium, and he's going to have a look up the inside as he's going to threaten Lickleblocks into the Nouvelle chicane, lets him know he's there, and Lambo then cuts the corner in his haste to find a way through and gets a 3-second penalty. So not what you want to be getting for TTG Lambo, and well, that now allows Lickleblocks a little bit more breathing space. But I'm not sure on the penalties, Graham. Could you maybe give us a quick update? You can have a look through it for us and see if you can see the penalty count for the various drivers. They're certainly the ones within close proximity of each other.
Well, Lickle got 2 warnings but not a penalty, and that was Lambo's first penalty. But to be honest, if Lambo can find a way past Lickle, I don't think it would even matter, because I think he'd easily pull away the 2 seconds that he would need, or 3 seconds he would need to bridge that gap. So you see Lickle obviously struggling on those supers, and there's lap traffic in front as well. They've got to negotiate. So is there an opportunity for Lambo? We've seen in the real life F1 how cars use traffic to their advantage. Can Lambo do something similar here with the blocks as they come through 48?
Yep, good spot there. Can Lambo do anything about Lickleblocks? Can Leon do anything about Killerzone, as that gap to Blizzard is just getting obliterated? 4.3 now, that gap. I'm pretty sure in a couple of laps time we'll be looking at the gap on track and it'll be nothing, as Hitsme picks up a 3-second time penalty. Zoom is some 40 seconds away from a point, so he doesn't look like as if he's going to get one unless the wheels come off for someone up the road. In fact, Zoom's now popped up ahead of Hitsme. I don't know what's going on with Hitsme's car this afternoon. It's popping up everywhere on the screen. For all we know, he could be leading this race, to be honest with you. I presume you've got Hitsme showing up in 11th at the moment as well.
I got Hitsme showing up in 9th, and he's just coming into the pits.
Oh, well, he's popped up to 9th for me as well, so I presume he's not near the front. So he's just all over the place with a couple of times today. It's not been the most ideal day. We had a nightmare in qualifying trying to get the stream going. We had a nightmare because we're on the wrong Twitch channel as well here, folks. Must apologise to everyone at ILR for that one. In my haste to get this stream on the go, I ended up logging in. Well, I was already logged into my own. I'm just glad I'm not logged into another racing league, because that would have caused quite a few scenes within the F1 community. So I'm glad we don't have that issue to deal with after the race. But let's focus on the action. Lambo on Lickle. Is he going to have a go this time up the inside into the Nouvelle chicane, Graham? Doesn't look like it, but he's getting closer, isn't he?
Certainly is, and the longer this race goes on, the more desperate Lambo will be, but also the obviously more worn tyres Lickle will be carrying. So you feel that some way, sooner rather than later, these two will be side by side somewhere, and you've seen it go a bit sideways for a couple of others side by side today in Monaco. How will it end here? Sure, because you feel it's definitely coming. You feel at some stage that they will be very, very, very close, and looking to get it moved on will be Lambo surely.
Yep, absolutely. Lambo now running up the hill as Leon still that 6/10 behind Killerzone, but the gap now under 3 seconds to Blizzard. So will the McLarens do the switcheroo or will they not? We'll have to wait and see on that particular one. But Lambo now got a great run on Lickleblocks as they go over that bump in the road and then down toward Mirabeau. Still no way through. Lickle in the middle of the road. Lambo getting frustrated, clips the curb on the inside, loses the rear, but still holds on to the car. And the frustration starting to mount now for TTG Lambo as he now gets up behind Lickel blocks and down this straight, and this is as close as he's been, and surely this time Lambo fancies a run at the podium places. Lickel defends the inside, Lambo dives down the outside, surely he'll run out of road. Oh, look how close that was. Lickel's seen that coming and he made the right decision to come across there, didn't he?
Excellent defending from Lickel, knew exactly where to place the car, and there was just no room for Lambo to drive to the inside or around the outside in which case, so brilliant driving there from Lickel blocks. Defend that one really, really well.
Yep, great defending. It should not too hard to defend here at Monaco, but when you least expect it, you can get caught out. But that was a good decision there from Lickel to defend. I mean, we've seen Blizzard defend well as well at times when people have been threatening up the inside of him into Mirabo, and he's came across and defended well. I think it was Lickel earlier on, he tried that one and it didn't work out. So good defending there from Lickel now on Lambo. But Leon as well, he's tucked up behind Killzone still, and the gap now just about 2 seconds to Blizzard, so that continues to shorten. So a couple of great battles on track. Another thing we should note is Cliffy is slicing the gap down to Francis. Has Francis got wing damage? No, he doesn't. And Francis, I believe, has got a 3-second time penalty. Does Cliffy have any? That's the big question, Graham. Can you deliver that info for us?
I can indeed. I'm glad you said it because I've been noticing it as well. Of course, Francis on much older tyres. He did lap in the 13s, looking at the lap times. Cliffy does have a penalty, got one very early in the race, where he's been consistently lapping in the 12s and even popping into the 11s at times as well. As that is contact with Lambo, has he got wing damage? Certainly a heavy impact, but still carrying on. But definitely, I think I was going to ask you, should we be worried about Francis, because that gap, as you say, is absolutely thundering down.
Yeah, it's 27 laps he's done on the super soft tyre. I don't know how long these super softs will last. I don't know if they'll make the end. They should do. I mean, it's a one-stop race, isn't it? That's what they all say. So he's going to have done, what, 33 laps come the end of this Grand Prix on set. Cliffy's done much less, and he's just blitzing the gap, thankfully, for Francis. Cliffy has also got a 3-second time penalty. That could be security net, but 6 laps to go. I fancy him to close down a second a lap quite easily, to be honest. And he'll be there come the finish. Leon's still getting closer to Killzone, and they're both catching Blizzard.
Cliffy has been consistently closing that gap by around a second a lap for the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 laps, because that gap was a comfortable 11 or 12 seconds at one point. It's been absolutely going down ever since, but obviously the big thing to mention is that, of course, Francis started on the hyperless and Cliffy on the alternate strategy.
Hold on here, Graham. We've got a move from Leon. He's attacking Killzone. Oh, Killzone covers the middle of the road and was unable to get move done, but they're now both really close to Blizzard. But yeah, carry on what you're saying there as Lambo now gets close to Lickel again.
Let's get a good one out of the final chicane, does he? Just a bit too far back. Just DRS. Not this time. So, you know, obviously with Cliffy starting on the ultras, giving him obviously the much fresher tyres for the second stint, and could be the difference between the race win and second place. Lap 34 of 39, getting close to the end now. Should be fun.
Yeah, really close. As Leon is nearly pushing Killzone through turn 1. It really is shaping up now to be a classic finish. We've got Francis and Cliffy for the lead, shortening. We've got the podium battle between Lickel and Lambo, and this battle for what will soon be 5th, 6th and 7th. The one interesting thing to note is Blizzard's gap is not coming down as quickly as it was, because those Ultrasofts are starting to get a little bit past their sell-by date as well. So the longer they stay out there on Ultrasofts, the more that delta between the two tyres will start to shorten. So maybe Blizzard might just hold on here because the Ultrasofts are running out. But Lambo now only a 10th behind Lickel, and wow, it really is starting to shape up. We've got Francis 2.8 ahead of Cliffy and shortening. Lickel 14 seconds further down the road with Lambo on his case, and then Blizzard, Leon, Blizzard, Killzone and Leon all on their own little scrap. So where do we look at the moment? It's hard to tell, but let's stick with Lambo as he runs down towards turn 1. He's getting closer to Lickel blocks again. He wants to get that 3 seconds. He needs to pass Lickel blocks now. And he's got a great run going up the hill towards Beau Rivage. He'll have to back out. He's going to have a look up the inside of the Massenet. Can he do it? Can he do it? Very, very close. Lickel runs wide, gives him the space. They touch wheels. They touch wheels through Casino Square. Now down the hill. Lambo on the outside. Lickel comes across and nearly pushes him into the wall there. In fact, he did. And Lickel somehow, the desperate Dan, that just about keeps himself ahead of that Ferrari, of that Haas I should say, for just a little bit longer. But Lecco getting desperate now as he comes out of Portier and through the tunnel, and Lambo is really right up behind him now. The race through the tunnel, the V6 engine's roaring, and now he goes side by side. Down the outside goes Lambo. Can he do it? Oh, it's squeezing through. And Lambo up into P3. That was right on the limit of what the stewards will allow, but for me it was just about okay. It's Monaco, what do you expect? And Lambo takes the podium. Now can he build the 3 seconds he needs? And wow, what a brilliant move that was. Do you agree, Graham?
Yeah, fantastic racing between the two, and well, it was more than just tire-to-tire contact, because Lambo is nursing wing damage on that right front, as Cliffy now within a second of Francis as they head down to Lowe's. Wow, this is coming alive. Cliffy, what a race he's had. I'm not even going to have a vote for driver of the day today. There is no doubt about it. The man is up 14 positions from his starting position. It's Monaco, for goodness sake. And now he's hunting down Francis, who's on 30 lap old super soft tyres. Can Cliffy make the impossible work and pull off what would surely be one of the greatest drives in Inside Line Racing League history? He's close to Francis. He's been chopping the gap down lap after lap. It was 12 seconds earlier on. He can now see the Williams right in front of him. But as Murray Walker once said, it's one thing catching, it's another thing overtaking, especially at Monaco. Cliffy then forcing his way onto the back of that Williams car. Can he do anything about it? There are 11 laps tyres between them. 3/10 on the road. They've both got the same number of penalties. What can Cliffy do? He started P16 on the grid. If he wins this one, it would be one of the great drives. He's pushing Francis to the limit here. This Scotsman, who's had a wretched season, an average season would be a better word to use, not wretched. He's picked up points but never been near the sharp end, right up at the front, fighting for victory. Is he about to be robbed of a victory here by Cliffy, who really is starting to force the issue? Francis leads, Cliffy second, Lambo third, and nearly gets that 3 seconds he needs to Lecco as Blizzard takes a 3 second time penalty. I don't know what that does to him and Leon, as Killer Zone has apparently been let through by Blizzard, so Blizzard not having a good end to his race. We'll need to see what this penalty situation is between Leon and Blizzard, as Cliffy still gets closer to Francis without able to make the move. But Lecco, he looks like he's going to drop behind 3 seconds on Lambo, doesn't it? Looks like it, with Blizzard and Killer Zone. A little pocket of space emerged between Killer Zone and Leon, and Killer Zone let Blizzard through, or Blizzard let Killer Zone through the tunnel. That's why Killer Zone is now in P5.
On a side by side, Leon and Blizzard down in the braking zone towards the Nouvelle chicane. Can he go around the outside? They're touching wheels. Leon now picks up a penalty himself and runs into trouble, but now we need to go back to Cliffy, who's still on the tail of Francis. A frenetic end to this Monaco Grand Prix. Can Cliffy do anything as they go down through Casino Square for lap 38 out of 39? Francis' tyres will be very near the canvas by this point, Graham. Surely they'll be on the limit of the life in them, surely.
He's limping home. Is there anything Cliffy can do to get by? He'll be desperate. It's Monaco. You've got to go for it, surely, haven't you? I know you're in a great position. You've done so much good work, but surely this is all what's led to. He's got to go for it. Yeah, he's got to go for it to complete what would be one of the greatest drives in Inside Line Racing history. Don't go anywhere, folks. Can Cliffy pull off the remarkable, the sensational, the incredible, the stupendous, the ridiculous? He's on the tail of Francis still, but again, there's no way through to back and the swimming pool section. Where can he do it, Graham? Is it going to be Mirapol? Is it going to be Raskas on this very lap? He's going to try around the outside. Will he cut back on the inside for Anthony? He knows. Look at Francis, the tyres are finished on that car. He's out of shape. Cliffy pulls alongside and takes the lead away. Francis' tyres are finished and Cliffy goes for P16 on the grid to take the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix at the start of the final lap. Surely completing one of the greatest drives in the history of ILR. It's VRT Cliffy moving into the lead, and Francis' tyres have hit the cliff, Graham. He's done a very good job to get those tyres 32 laps, but there's nothing he could do in the end. The rear tyres just absolutely gave up on him throughout Raskas and into Anthony Noakes, and Cliffy more than happy to step through. This is going to be an absolutely incredible win for Cliffy. What a race.
Unbelievable. What a race here in Monaco. It's the second ILR race this week that has been thrilling that I've watched at Monaco. The one on Friday night was brilliant. This one has been equally as good, if not better. And what a drive this is from VRT Cliffy. He's completing it now as he heads through the swimming pool section for the first time in what would be the outright lead of this Grand Prix, given he was leading earlier on before the pit stops. This is remarkable. From 16th on the grid, here comes the Mercedes. It's going to be his first win of the season. He's only had one podium up till now. He's only got 32 World Championship points. He's about to add another 25 to that tally. VRT Cliffy wins the Monaco Grand Prix from P16 on the grid. What a performance from the Mercedes driver. And I'm sure he'll be partying on the streets of Monaco tonight. Let's have a look at Leon and Blizzard. They're still battling the championship leader. He's been in the wars all afternoon, but it looks like he's going to come home P6, only losing points to Lambo and Killerzone in his title race, but not as damaging as it could have been. Leon's pushing him all the way, but he's not going to do anything, is he? He's going to try and dab that he knows, but he can't do that. And Blizzard will surely, I think, as a result of the penalties, hold on to that P6 with Leon P7. Let's just confirm that. Yes, he does. And that is that. What a race, Graham. What a performance from VRT Cliffy. And I think it's a stupid question to ask you who your driver of the day is.
Yeah, it would be indeed. Obviously, there's Cliffy is one to do that, can come from the back and claim a really good result, but that is, and I've seen quite a number of them in other leagues, but that is as good as they come.
Wow. Well, we must apologise for all the issues we had with the stream at the start, me not finding my disc, all those things, the fact it's not even on the ILR channel, but wow, I think we've been rewarded, you've been rewarded, viewers, with an absolute cracker. VRT Cliffy comes home to win the Monaco Grand Prix on that podium. Great celebrations down at Mercedes. Toto Wolff is loving it down there, and it's a fantastic afternoon for him. Francis will be gutted. It was so nearly a win for him, but the tyres gave up as he did a full marathon 33 lap stint on this super soft tyre. Well, what a race. TTG Lambo once again comes charging through. He deserves an honourable mention from P11 on the grid to come home P3. Lico Blocks came from P10 to finish P4 as well. Killerzone comes home in 5th, and what turned out to be a pretty average race from the McLaren's point of view. It's not been a kind afternoon for those guys, the championship leaders, not having a good day. Leon, a case of what might have been for him. Those penalties really scuppered his plans, and incidents with Killerzone as well hurting him. He finished P7 in the Toro Rosso. It was Frisky CJ who came P8. It was quite quiet further down the field. Matt Tibos was 9th, and it's me whose car was jumping all around the order, got the final point in 10th. One of the championship contenders, Doom, had a nightmare. He came on P11 but failed to score a point. What a race, Graham. Really enjoyed it. How did you enjoy your first time in the ILR1 Combox? It was a great race, wasn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. Monaco can throw up a few duds, but that was definitely one of the best races at Monte Carlo I've ever seen. So rising all up from the little block, some just absolutely fantastic drives throughout the grid. And again, that Hypersoft, man, that Hypersoft proved deadly for a lot of drivers, and ultimately it killed is the race, and Cliffy had the better strategy, but obviously a fantastic drive, even looking outside the strategy, just unbelievable.
Yep, what a race. Let's try and get the top 3 guys in here for interview. Let's see if I can get them in there. What a race, what a drive. I'm going to suggest them to you since you're now the party host, because I had to leave earlier on in all the carnage. If you can invite them, if you've got them in your friends list, feel free. If not, I'll see if I can get the podium guys in as well. Right. All the way down to V, because it's the VSR and VRT guys. Let's see if I can find Francis. Have I got Lambo? I don't know if I've got Lambo. Let's see. TTG Lambo. No, I don't have him. So if you've got him, that'd be ideal. If not, I'll try and get him. Just bear with us, folks. There's Cliffy now. That's good to see him coming in. We'll speak to him in a few moments after that incredible drive. Perhaps one of the greatest drives ever seen in ILR history. I've invited Lambo, so I might as well get started with this. So let's go to Cliffy then. Cliffy, wow, I don't even know where to start with it, mate. It's got to go down as we said in commentary, as one of the greatest ILR performances in the history of the league. And talk us through it, mate. I mean, you might be speechless. It was a stunning drive from P16 to win it.
I mean, Where do I start? Obviously, I started at the back because I got wing damage on my actual lap. I think I was on par with Francis' pole time. I'm not too sure. So I mean, main aim at Monaco, just take it slow. But I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd actually win the race. It's just insane.
Well, I would say you were helped a little bit in part by the battling that was going on. Those early stoppers on the ultra soft getting caught with the guys going longer, the guys further down the field behind you, maybe the likes of Matt Tibbers and that certainly gave you that opportunity. Were you aware, Cliffy, that you could have pitted a few laps earlier and came out ahead of the likes of Blizzard in that, or was that something you weren't aware of and just stuck to your strategy? Because I mean, you still did the job, but it could have been easier.
Yeah, I mean, the lap I was going to pit, I noticed I got away from Francis by a couple of attempts. I thought if I stay out a couple of laps, obviously the lead he had was, I think, like 10 seconds, or 11 seconds. So I thought, obviously he's quick, so if I'm gapping Francis, I must be gapping the cars behind. Obviously that wasn't the case. Obviously me and Blizzard had a little bit of an incident. I don't really know what he thinks about that. I mean, I'll definitely submit my POV if he wants to take me to the stewards, but yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I should have pit, but obviously when I was gapping Francis, I thought, okay, I could just stay out and potentially get an overcut, and yeah, it didn't quite go so well.
Yeah, but you got the job done anyway, Cliffy. What an absolutely stunning drive. I suppose it might go to the stewards, that one with Blizzard. It was hard for us to call. We only saw it once. You know, it's one of those ones where you're touching all the way up the hill and then touching through Casino Square. It seemed like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, to be honest. It's difficult for us to see it off one view. So, I mean, we'll go to the stewards perhaps. We'll see how it goes. But a great drive, Cliffy. I don't really know what to say. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Did you think you always had a chance of getting Francis? Was that always something you could do, do you feel? Or do you think he was always going to cling on? I mean, his tyres were shot. 33 laps on them. And did you think there was any way you could find a way through in the closing laps?
Before I pit, obviously to see Francis only 3 seconds behind, I thought, wow, he's obviously got this race won at this point. But yeah, when I come out the pits, when I got past Blizzard, I was closing in, and I thought, okay, see how it goes, carrying at the pace. I was quite comfortable at the pace. I wasn't, pushing the car, and it wasn't until we got to about maybe 3 seconds, I thought, okay, I could actually maybe go for the win here. And then obviously Francis had that mistake on the second to last corner on lap 38, and yeah, man, I just thought, okay, I need to stay in the lead, keep the car out the wall, and just bring it home. And yeah, fortunately, I did.
Well, fantastic job, mate. It really was one of the greatest drives I've ever witnessed at Monaco. And it's brought you right back into contention in the championship. Is that something you feel you can do, Cliffy, or do you think it's going to be really difficult to do that? Is there anything you can do in the championship race?
Well, I mean, you don't know me. I mean, I normally start at the back on purpose and make my way through the field. But because I obviously won this race, Canada's next, and that's also one of my strongest tracks. So if I can maybe come over a podium at Canada, then who knows? I'll maybe see after Canada. But for now, I'm not really thinking about the championship.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Cliffy. Good luck in Canada next week. Let's go to the man that was second after that race, VSR Francis. Are you with us, Francis? I think you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, Francis, a bit gutting, I suppose, to lose the race that late on, but is there any positives you can take from that? I mean, it was a great performance, the qualifying, but the tyres just gave up on you in the end. But it's a first podium of the season. It's finally a strong result. How do you feel after that one?
I feel a bit gutted that I didn't get the win, but I'm still very happy to get my first podium. The pace was definitely there to possibly come with the win, but I just, for whatever reason, I could not keep the tire temperatures down, and then with my best attempts to keep them down, Cliffy was catching maybe half a second a lap, and then I just made that mistake on lap 38 when the tires had got up to like 108 degrees, so the rear end was pretty much everywhere, and he just managed to drive right past.
Speaking of those tyre temperatures, what can I just explain to the viewers, explain to me as well, because it's something I really never got to grips with when I played the game. Like, how do you keep them down? How do you do it? I know you tried, you failed on this occasion, but is there anything you feel you could have done more to keep them down? How is it you do that?
For the fronts, I honestly don't have a clue. But for the rear tires, what I just do is I keep it in lean and stay in high gears, and that's what I was doing until Cliffy caught, and I was able to keep the rear tires in check, and then and the front tires were, especially the front left, was really bad, and I didn't know what to do to like help it, but at one point I was going like 2.5 seconds slower, and that was like the only way I was able to keep the tires in check, which was obviously not worth doing.
So do you feel like had you just kept going at the same pace, or you would have been able to hold off Cliffy, or would the tyres have just got so bad that it would have been undrivable at the end? I mean, is it a happy medium? Is it one where you can slow down, let the gap come down and get the tyres back, or do you feel maybe with hindsight you should have just blitzed it and kept going, or would that have just ended even worse?
No, I think I made the right choice. If I continued to go at the pace I was going at when I first came out the pits, I don't think I would have finished the race. The tyres would have just got to a stage where they were completely undrivable, and I probably would have crashed. So I was happy with the choice I made in the end.
So what about oh shit, I've lost my train of thought. Someone just messed me there. What was I going to say? Sorry. Yeah, Francis, what about the tyre life? What percent were they? What kind of percentage were you having? Is it just purely temperature issue, or was the wear as well being an issue? Were they in good state?
The wear wasn't like extremely bad. It was 75 when I crossed the line, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was just mainly the temperature that really helped. That really shot me there.
Okay. Well, Francis, a heartbreaking afternoon for you. Still a good 18 points. How do you feel with the races coming ahead? Canada, is that one where you can have another strong afternoon? Do you feel we can start to really hit some form in this championship?
I think in my opinion, Canada's probably my best track on the game.
Okay.
So I'll be looking to keep my good form into Canada. And I've done a couple races around there. I didn't find tyre temperatures a problem, so hopefully I can get a good result as well.
Okay, well, commiserations on failing to take the win, but congratulations on finally getting a strong result. We do not have TTG Lambo with us, but Graham, have you got any other questions for the drivers?
Well, first of all, Cliffy, congratulations. You've had a couple of races where you've kind of come from the back and soared a fair way up the field. Where does this one rank for you? Because around Monaco has to be right up there with one of your best races in league racing that you've done.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, last season I think I came from 18th to 3rd on the podium last season. But no, this race definitely one of my best ever races. I don't think nothing will top it.
Hard to top that one, but no, that was all I wanted to get in. Congratulations, man. That was just that was amazing to watch. Fair play.
Cheers, thank you.
To you, Andy.
Yeah. So well done to VRT Cliffy. Then that wraps up the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. We head, of course, to ILR2 later on, so be sure to tune into that. Hopefully, those guys will be able to get it back on YouTube, because we had issues tonight with YouTube, so we'll see how it goes for them. Well, I think they're just about to get underway, the guys in ILR2, so hopefully they get that sorted. We ended up, of course, on Twitch, and not even on the ILR Twitch, on my own Twitch by total accident, so we must again apologise for that, folks. Hopefully next week we'll be back up and running without such problems, and hopefully we'll get this stream available on ILR YouTube after a few downloads and stuff, so we'll sort that out. And yeah, that rounds us up here in Monaco. We head off now to the Canadian Grand Prix. I believe we've got a break week next week, so there will be no action due to the Brazilian Grand Prix clash. So 2 weeks' time, we head to the Canadian Grand Prix. So can Cliffy pull off another masterstroke there, or will those McLaren drivers get themselves back into form? We'll find out in 2 weeks' time. That's all from me, that's all from Graham, and that's all from the guys on the podium. That's it. Good night.